So as a refresher to the previous video, and if you haven't watched the previous video, which would be video number 1 on the subject of Dark Night of the Soul and shadow work integration, we discussed the definitions of the id, ego, and dreams and how it's affecting our soul growth. And so just to continue from there, just briefly go ahead and take a look at that video if you haven't seen it already, because we've discussed that. But memories, to continue, our memories are holding the keys to our evolution and our status in the microcosm and the macrocosm. Doing shadow work involves revisiting and learning more about the meanings of these underlying meanings and messages of the underlying conditions which we experience before as traumas or as just experiences. And we can look and open up those dialogues from the past, present, and future, which all exist right now as one block of time. And we can, when we open it to look at it during our dreamscapes, we can have a chance to dissect and to really build upon these things. The trigger words that most people use is healing, but I like to use build. I like to use the word that we will build upon our experiences from before, because we do hold certain blockages when we even use words such as trauma and healing. They may be inevitable for me to continue to state, but that may be the case because that's just how our language works. Okay, and so to continue on, I want to go further in terms of our soul's journey, doing our shadow work, the dark night of the soul, as we engage the archetypes. Okay, and so what does that mean? Well, what that means is the dream symbolism is particularly rich with symbolism going back to cultural traditions such as the Aztecs, the Olmecs, whom provide a really profound language for the subconscious to express these archetypical patterns that we will discover are dormant within our unconscious or subconscious mind. And a few examples of the Aztec and Olmec animal symbols, color symbols, and their meanings for historical context are such that if you take a look at certain animals, say the ego, the culture of the Aztecian culture used the eagle and it was integral to them, especially during the height of the Aztec Empire, which was 14th to 16th century CE. The eagle for the Aztecs symbolized freedom, connection between earthly and divine realms, vision. In dreams, an eagle might indicate a need for higher perspective or a spiritual awakening. Sometimes as we dream of an eagle, we may have seen one during the day in a movie or in the sky. These are all synchronicities and symbols that we are using, or that are not we're using, but that are being shown to us so that we can realize where we are and what we may need to do. So other animal symbols are let's go with the serpent. Okay, so both Aztecs and Olmecs revered the serpent, and many other cultures. The Olmec culture came before the Aztec culture, but they may indeed have originated their ideas about animals from even more prehistoric cultures. Okay, nevertheless, that they're revered in both cultures, with the Olmecs influence around 1200 to 400 BCE and the Aztecs' prominence in the 14th and 16th century CE, it represents transformation, renewal, and a cyclical nature in life. In dreams, serpents can signify our personal transformation, right? Something to build upon, and a shedding of old beliefs. And even if we look at the serpent archetype, we can see that even the serpents in dreams for the Australians, the Australian Aboriginals or Aborigines, they saw the serpent mother or the rainbow serpent as birthing the entire world. The serpents even here are considered to be prolific in that they can have a breeding season between 20 and 100 eggs per season. The serpent itself can also bring up energies of darkness or fear, given that we've been programmed by Christianity or Judeo-Christianity to see a serpent as a Satan or as something of negative influence. So basically what I'm hinting at here is that though there are predominantly beautiful and positive respects to the symbolism that you'll see, there is a negative component as well, which can be useful to us as well. And we don't need to be fearful of these things. Okay. And there's one more that I would like to mention, and there's many, but the few that I wrote down were these, and it's the jaguar. The jaguar has a meaning of power. It represents power and strength and the ability to navigate between worlds. In dreams, jaguars have been noted to symbolize the personal, the individual power, and the need to find courage. So you may find yourself looking at that as, okay, well, is there in some area in my world or in my shadow that I feel fear, that I'm not feeling as confident? And then you may want to see, okay, am I having is there a jaguar in my dream? Okay. And so far as these animals go, if we're not seeing these as symbols in our dreams, we can impregnate our dreams with these animals and others based on the characteristics that we believe they hold, what significance they hold for us, such that before we go off to sleep at night, we can impregnate our dream, meaning we can envision or see pictures or pull up a book or open a book that has these archetypes in them that we want to address during our dream. Certain cultures such as the Aztecs and the Olmecs, they did that with what did you call it? With a crystal. And I'm forgetting the name of this crystal, even though I have one right in my room. They would look at the crystal for a mirror, black obsidian crystal, as a mirror, or they would use a water bowl and they would change their face into the archetype or the structure before going to bed so that they can embed their dream states with these animal characteristics for growth. And then there's colors. Perhaps we'll save the colors for another time, but different colors symbolize different things, such as, I'll give a couple, such as blue represents water or the sky and spirituality. In dreams, it symbolizes tranquility or introspection or a connection with the divine. Green is linked to fertility, as we can see on the earth is green as can be, especially in areas with high abundance, lots of water, lots of sun. And this may suggest also a renewal or abundance and a need to ground, a need to get into nature and put our feet in grass. Okay? And so these are just a few of the symbols that I thought we should go over because these are clues. These are clues to what's going on in our dream world. And if we can bring some of these symbols to our dreams, we can ask certain questions of ourselves as we do our continued work. Heretofore, the reason that I'm focusing on the soul more so than the spirit in this dialogue is because of the purpose. The purpose is to attain sovereignty. Because the sovereign soul needs no mediator, has no intercessor. The integration of the 5 powers of the soul can be instigated by doing our shadow work. These 5 powers and the manifestations of which complete the human as a microcosm of the universe, which is a profound concept of interconnectedness and how pure potentiality becomes kinetic power within the human body. So what are the 5 powers? The 5 powers of the soul can be discussed as such. These powers represent different aspects of the human consciousness and potential. They are will, imagination, intuition, intellect, and emotion. Each power contributes to the holistic development of the individual and thus the collective, enabling us to navigate both physical and spiritual realms effectively. Okay? Unity of the soul and universe is what we're after here. The soul and the universe are made from the same fabric, highlighting their intrinsic connection. This unity suggests that by understanding and integrating the powers of the soul, one can mirror the universe's vastness and complexity within oneself, right? And we amplify that to the collective because as we each learn, we can teach. And thus it can be like a rash, a pleasant rash. Interconnectedness and influence is what we are here to do. Recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, individuals can influence the energetic web of life by harmonizing our inner powers. We can contribute positively to the collective consciousness, uplifting others and ourselves. The integration process, then, is what we're speaking about. It's the larger part of the spiritual journey towards enlightenment. It involves activating higher aspects of oneself, leading to the development of abilities beyond normal human capacity, and fostering a deeper understanding of our purpose and our connection to the cosmos. With a balanced and integrated soul, we can effectively manifest our goals and our visions, individually and as a collective. This ability stems from our alignment with the universe's creative forces, which are within us and without, right? Allowing them to navigate and shape our reality and our conscious experience. So ultimately, the integration of the soul's power leads to a harmonious existence, whereby individuals and the collective can live in alignment with universal laws and principles, not just by hope and prayer. This state of being reflects the ideal of the completed human, embodying both the macrocosm and the microcosm in this dimension and all others. And so then what is the soul? The soul in metaphysics is the essence of consciousness beyond the physical existence. It is the beyond I am. The words carve out the physical existence using elements of the united field in a holographic nature. The soul and spirit are that which animates and experiences the word made flesh. However, the soul and spirit are pre-existing and are not created by the lesser gods who crafted the body. So I agree that the soul and spirit are beyond the body, but also inside of it, though I agree that, there is something more dynamic about the spirit and soul, which is also inside the body, that gives it life. As quantum physics can only point towards a fundamental truth, we are the universe entangled beyond the body and within it, which means we can also point to our energetic system as the universe. Each chakra itself is a mini universe. Each cell is a universe. Each atom is a universe. So that when people say everything is within you, you are the universe, this is partially what they mean. Perhaps that's what I mean when I say it. So what is the point? Dream analysis can be a powerful tool for self-actualization, offering insights that transcend our conditioned waking state and tapping into deep layers of our psyche. Dreams provide a unique opportunity for us to explore the originality, depth, and transpersonal meanings that are often inaccessible through mere thinking or intellectual prowess alone. Reasoning cannot get us there. By engaging with our dreams, though, we can facilitate emotional and cellular transformation, leading to profound personal growth. Just to give a quick definition, self-actualization, according to ancient wisdom, involves realizing one's fullest potential and living in alignment with one's true nature. It is a process of self-discovery and self-realization that encompasses the integration of the self, self-healing, and the development of self-authority. This journey is deeply rooted in the principle of self-determinacy and self-integrity, allowing individuals to transcend societal conditioning and embrace their authentic selves. In ancient traditions, self-actualization was often linked to spiritual enlightenment and the pursuit of wisdom. It involved cultivating a deeper sense of the internal self, which is not taught, but was rather discovered within. This process requires us as individuals to explore our own inner world, confront our own shadows, and integrate all these aspects into our being. So dream analysis aids in this journey by providing the symbolic language through which the subconscious communicates. By interpreting these symbols, archetypes, and emotions within the dreams, we can gain further insights into our inner conflicts, desires, and potential. And this is the reason that we are exploring this subject now. So certain ideas or tips that we can do to help dreamscape. And in order for us to take this journey, we must realize that all of us are going to have a certain different way of approaching a dreamscape. All of us are going to have our own unique preferences. There are certain ancient guidelines to determine what position to put your bed in, what time to stop eating, where to set your glass of water before you go to bed at night, all these different things. But these few specific ideas are just a glimpse at some of the ideas that I have learned about how to dreamscape. And so for me, the first thing I usually do is I clear my space at night. I go ahead and I burn sage if I remember, and if I don't, I go ahead and just do some deep breaths, which are deep inhalations, holding at the top and breathing out, perhaps holding at the bottom, but just cleansing. I call it my cleansing breath, and I clear my mind. Sometimes before I clear my mind, I might try to recall everything that's happened in my day. Because then if I recall what's happened in the day, I'm programming the nighttime. I'm remembering where my intentions were set for the day and if they've been manifested through the day. So keeping a dream journal is another important tool, because in keeping a bedside journal, then we can record and document what was happening in the dream upon awakening throughout the night, instead of trying to hold that memory until the morning, because as we know, those memories can fade as we sleep because dreams are not linear. Okay, we want to pay specific attention to any animals, symbols, colors, or feelings that we've had during the dream. We also want to reflect upon awakening on the dream journal for the animals, and we want to consider, like we discussed already, we want to consider what are these animals symbolically in reference to us? Have we had any synchronistic moments with colors or the archetypes of the dream? We want to engage with the symbolism of the dream. Meditate on any symbols that may have been revealed to you, such as an odd thing, like maybe you saw a semicircle attached to the letter B, or something just strange, something that strikes you as, I've never seen this before in my dream. You can write these down or draw them. You can add the colors together and see what you come up with. Okay, and that takes me to another one. Previous to the dream, to dream states, I would sometimes watch not mudras, oh my goodness, what do you call them? Mandalas. I would watch mandalas in flow, or I would pay particular attention to a sacred symbol that was resonating with me. Usually it's the spiral, and I would trace a spiral out, or I would use a spirograph pencil with various colors to embed my mind with colors. Okay, you could do that on the computer too, because there's computers that there's videos that do show these things. Although some people, even myself included, I try to avoid staring at a screen directly before I go off to sleep. Okay, so then from there, we can just seek guidance. Some people see a mental health specialist, and some people have a life coach, and others, they have a community or a husband or a friend, a mother or a team who are very good at bouncing ideas off of each other for these dreams. I remember that I would talk to the kids about their dreams, and we would talk about what they meant to them. And then people would ask me, what does it mean to me? And I have a lot of symbolic references, and I would say, oh, this means that, and oh, because I've been having vivid dreams since I was a teenager, or before that, I can't remember, but at least since I was a teenager. And so what we want to do basically is we want to have the mindset We want to have the mindset of, this is my dream space. And I want to create a connection with it during the daytime, because that is how we can keep it active. Like I said, I feel like we're always in a dream. We're not always aware that we're in a dream, but we are dreaming during the daytime. We are lucidly dreaming during the daytime. We just don't see it the same way. And so if we take these symbols and keep our mindset focused on the archetypes, be it from our birth chart, which I'll get to that in the next video, or be it from our archetypical roles in life, and we look at the symbolism in the dream, we could see where perhaps we never wanted to be a cousin. Let's just go there. Or we never wanted to be a warehouse worker, but here we are in this role. And what does it mean to us as an individual? And is it causing us to feel suppressed in some way? Because we're going to use our dreams to help identify what we haven't worked through during this life. And taking it to the lucid dream of daytime, we do the same thing, where if I'm continuously seeing eagles, I know it's symbolic to me. Just like I used to work for a place, and our team was called Eagle 2. Okay. And then my mother always called me an eagle. And so this reference is meaningful to me on many levels, in many areas, just like a lion and a lioness. Whenever I see a tiger or lion or cat in my dream, it speaks to me because I've been practicing this for a long time. And so it has great meaning to me. And sometimes you can look up the colors, and you may look up the color black, and it may give you a dark reference. But for me and my experience of utilizing color, the color black signifies everything. It signifies where everything is, such as when you go into the dark night of the soul or the abyss, that is dark and it can feel scary, but that's where everything is. And I know that. Just intuitively, I know that.